Hello, hello, hello. Can everybody, excuse me, can anybody hear me? Let me see. Okay. Okay, hey, American born, thank you. Okay, hey, Lala. Okay, Lala, I'm finna bring you up here, hun, okay? Hey, Lala, can you hear me?
Hey, sugar, I can hear
How are
you.
you?
I'm all right, sis. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. I just wanted to bring
Good.
you up here with me, guys. I'm nervous, you know,
Don't be
but
nervous.
but in the words of my good virtual sister, Alf MC, she said, you just got to rip the band-aid off. So I'm about to rip the band-aid off. How you doing today, Lala?
Sis, I'm okay. I am pushing through, pushing through.
Okay, great. Well, my prayers to you, whatever you're going through. Thank
Thank you,
you,
sis.
everyone. No problem, Lala. Thank you guys for joining. Welcome, 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 beautiful people. Thank you all for coming over to my place. I am your one and only host, Sugar, broadcasting from the Windy City of Chicago. Y'all, y'all girl, your girl, Sugar, been going through some sugar honey iced tea these last 4 weeks, y'all. Child, I've been fighting this respiratory, I guess if you want to call it infection or viral infection. So, I've been losing my voice in and out. So I'm excited to be here tonight to be back on and popping so we can keep this train of sisterhood rolling. And I got my girl Lala up here with me for support. So, I can say that I can check that fear off of my list because I'm here. I ripped the band-aid off. And today we're going to be discussing the effects of toxic parenting has on their adult children. So some people, I'm just going to say trigger warning because I will be explaining my story because I am a product of coming from a toxic parenting environment. And I want to give hope out there to people because of the choices that I made. I broke that generational curse of parenting, between, me and my mom. So maybe some people can resonate. Maybe they've been in that situation where they're healing from trauma being caused by their parents, or maybe they know someone, who was in that situation, but what I've noticed is when I was going through different TikToks and listening to people express themselves about, their experiences. And I just really feel like, you know, it's no parenting guide out here, but I think that one thing that's very relevant is a lot of people are not, it seems like a lot of their parents wasn't emotionally available to them, if that makes any sense. Hey, Two. Hey, kicking it with Corey. Oh, I got my crew in it. Hey, oh, y'all so sweet. Thank you for coming. I'm sorry. I'm all in my head. Whoop, whoop. um, but yeah, and the thing is, this is the first time, you guys, I'm a nerd. I'm a techie. This is the first time in history that we're able to express ourselves to a big audience, or to a mass amount of people, at one time. And this opportunity can be either used in a productive way, or it can be used in an unproductive way, as we can see. But I welcome it because this is the first generation of young adults that are able to express themselves out loud. So I just want to say to the young millennials and Gen Zs of the world, because I am the parent of your age group, and I just want to say to you that your feelings do matter. I know maybe you were taught that they don't matter, but they absolutely do matter. And I'm sad to say this world is unfair. Life is just unfair, but there are tools of healing out there that can help you navigate through these waters. It's the love of God who resides inside your soul that you can tap into the very source to help you get through it. So I just want to have a little bit of deep conversations about, these type of topics, if that's okay. Okay. So let's see here. So Lala, how you feel about discussing that today?
Listen, I'm not a parent, but girl, I could take. I'll give me some advice because you know what type of person I am.
Yes, because the thing is, it all starts with love. I'm gonna give you a little bit of synopsis of my story, and I'm just sharing it. If even it can, if one person, if it resonates with one person, to see that even though you've been thrown in the darkness, through the love of God and strong will, steadfast in His grace, you can get through it. Like, you can absolutely get through it. Because I look back at it like a movie, or maybe a horror movie, but it's the very fabric that has shaped the way that I am. So I gotta respect that, right?
And you're an
So
amazing person anyway.
thanks.
Like, considering everything that you've been through and you
Yeah.
continue to go through, and the fact that you're such an amazing mother, a great
Oh,
friend, like, is a testament to you. Like, you can overcome anything. Like, we get down for a minute, but we have to always come up. The
mhm.
sun will rise again tomorrow. It just depends on you going to rise with it.
Absolutely, I agree. Hey, Somali Queen. Somali Queen there. Sound checker net. Whoop whoop.
Yes,
Okay.
the Molly Queen is here. Sis, I hope you're doing better today.
Oh, thank you, Courtney, sis. Y'all my sister from another mister. So, so trauma, guys, and not only that I was sick and battling in that situation, and I think my granddaughter flew in a bug from Cali. I don't know, but I love her all the same. Other things, were happening that brought up something that really triggered me. And, and I wanted to share that because I've worked on my emotions like for a long time. No one can tell me about emotions. And to be triggered and have an overwhelming amount of emotions come up, I just want to talk in sisterhood about that, So I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, so I want to start off by saying healing can't happen if only one person is acknowledging the trauma, y'all. Okay, it's a two-way street. And once the trauma has been acknowledged, it has to always be followed by change in behavior. You know what I mean? Like, a person can keep on saying that they're sorry, but after a while, it's the sorry doesn't mean anything. It's just, it's a choice at that point. The only people that we can control is ourselves, even though we probably really don't want to truly 100% believe that, but it is true and all the same. When I was first introduced to the emotion of abandonment and anger, I remember I was probably like around 5 or 6. And me and my mom, we stayed with my grandmother. My mom was a teenage parent, so I called my grandmother Mama, because she was like Big Mama, if anybody know what I mean by that. The big mamas are they the ones that carry all the wisdom, keep you straight, slap some moral ethics into you. So my mom, so I remember, like, I think kindergarten, and I remember it so vividly because this is what we have to understand. Children come into this world, their first teachers are the parents. Their first person to comfort them, what I'm saying, is their mom, or the warmth, that they feel to even feel loved and secure and safe. That comes from the parent. So when that diaspora is shaken, a child don't even know how to process that, let alone how to make it stop. They don't have the emotional maturity to be able to navigate and process those feelings. And we as the parents are the ones to be there, are supposed to be the ones, by God, to be there to guide them. God has put them in our care. So before you even become a parent, you already have your own life. You already have your sugar honey iced tea going on. You already have things that's just, just life in. And so 28 years ago, I made a command, a stance, or however you want, or a proclamation or a promise to myself and to God. I made a statement, and I said that I looked down at my firstborn daughter and I said I will always be honest, be transparent, and respectful. You know what I'm saying, to you, like no matter what. I said it. And then when I had my second daughter, I said the same thing, as well as with my third child. So I was 5 and 6 years old. My mom said she was moving. So of course a 5 or a 6-year-old will only think that, we're I'm going with her. You know what I mean? That was, so when I realized that my mom was leaving, was moving and not me, I was, I felt sad, probably I remember feeling like, abandoned, like my mom, just left me. And so then it was one weekend, it was a Friday night. She came over to my grandmother's house after work to get me and my auntie. Now, my auntie is my auntie, but me and her just 2 months and 2 weeks apart because my mom and my grandmother were pregnant at the same time, y'all. Okay, so I remember we were excited to go. So we got over there and, my mom ordered pizza. You know how you watch the movies, and we got our pajamas on, and my mom made a pallet like on the floor in the spare bedroom. It was a bed in there, but a pallet, like a little slumber party, like, get up. So, we were excited. So we was watching, movies or whatever. And my mom popped some popcorn and then she closed the door. So all of a sudden we just start hearing this voice, and it just sounded like a monster, y'all. It sounded like a monster to me and my auntie. I remember us grabbing each other. I remember hearing things like, trigger warning, y'all, like bumbling and rumbling. And I heard my mom kept yelling out the word stop, and she'll say my stepfather's name. And so me and my auntie looking at each other, I'm like, should we open up the door? So we looking at the door, and it's like it's a horror movie, y'all, in my eyes, like the door coming towards you, like you want to open it because you hear your mom sounding like she's in what sounds like distress or whatever. And so then I just was like, and then my auntie, she calmed me down. She said, you know what? Just call her name. So I yelled out her name, and I think it kind of like went silent. And then all of a sudden my mom opened up the bedroom door, and she like had like a bat in her hand, and she placed it against the wall, and she was like, y'all get y'all stuff, let's go. So that's, and when that incident happened, my mom never came to check on me emotionally. She didn't even come to me to even say, like I was terrified, y'all. I didn't know like what was going on, what I was witnessing. You know what I mean? I felt like I was in because at that point I just had the 3 monkey measurement. You know what I'm saying? Hear no evil, speak no evil. You know what I'm saying? See no evil, right? So I didn't know. And, but, as years started to go, I was feeling a certain type of way, a little anger. I felt like she chose, to be with him than me. And that was displaying itself through my self-expression. And then I went into dance. I love dancing. It's like my escape. Like you couldn't tell me nothing. I can actually dance too, So I got heavy involved in dancing. That was just like my escape and everything. And then so now we growing up in like the late 80s, early 90s, there was a lot of gang activities, and these girls, tried to jump on me, and my grandmother made me go to stay with my mom. Now my mom had moved 20 minutes, 20 minutes south of Chicago, in the suburb called Harvey. You may heard of it. That's where Chief Keef Field was staying at when he did the video, I think Don't Like. So we, so I was moved out there. So now this is where my horror really began, because I mean, every day, y'all, every other day, that man was jumping on my mama. And I was an angry teen. And, I had so much anger that my mom even had me in that situation like that and everything. And so, a lot of things that happened, I started making up my mind, like what I wouldn't deal with, like with a man. Because you start forming these things. Because like I said, she's still my mom. So you still looking at them as some form of a teacher. And, but so now you see that's affecting how I'm shaping my perception, of men. And all this time, me and my mom are like ships in the night. Like she'll come home from work, she'll cook, she'll knock on my door, dinner ready or whatever. And we was just like ships in the night. Yeah. So all of that was going on. And then it got to the point, it started escalating to the point where I was calling in law enforcement. So that was traumatic for me. It even got to the point I even had to go to court to testify, because both of them drew weapons, on each other. So it was very toxic, very toxic. I had a lot of negative, corroded, disgusting thoughts. You know what I mean? Growing up, I didn't want to be in the situation I was in, but I sought help. Like, I would go to my grandma, but my grandma was very dismissive with it. Oh, they need to cut that out, just very dismissive. So I felt like I wasn't protected, and my feelings were being dismissive for so many years before I started my healing. And I mean, when you start your healing, it could get tough, and it can make you run from it and not want to deal with it, because the feelings are, they're unfortunate, they're sad, they affect you. They shape your perception of things. So it's disheartening to see a lot of young adults on TikTok, expressing their feelings in regards to, they're saying they're going no contact with their parents. So what the no contact means is, just basically gets like cutting their parents off. So it's either limited contact or no contact. That's what they're calling it, y'all. And, and I watched a series of videos, and like I said, you just hear a lot of pain. So let me start off with saying this, y'all. No one here in the panel, on the panel, in the chat, and everywhere, no one should allow anyone to mistreat you. I stand against abuse in all of its forms, shapes, and forms. All of it. No one, even if they're your parents, you should not allow anyone to mistreat you. Now, to the children, and even I was a child, yes, I was subjected to it, and I wasn't at the point in my life, because I was a child, I couldn't get out the situation. So I looked for resources and mental tools to help me navigate, what was going on. I didn't take on, because I ain't had nothing to do with my mama Sugar Honey Iced Tea or my stepfather Sugar Honey Iced Tea. I ain't had nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? So once I realized that, I'm not taking the type of person that they is and putting that burden on me or on my shoulders. So I was strong-willed at a very, very early age, and I leaned on that. I use that as my discernment. It's there, y'all. It's there with us all the time. This presence, okay? And yeah, a lot of things was hurtful, but it really shaped who I am. It really shaped who I am, the type of person that I am. So I just want a lot of young adults to understand that it is, it's no manual being a parent. Everybody view parenting differently, right? Right, Lala, we can agree to that.
100%, I can agree with that, Sugar.
Yeah. And as a parent, sometimes we're the product of our environment. Sometimes, I heard a lot of them say, well, you the one who had us and stuff like that. Yeah. And the thing is, that's true, but it's more deeper than that. Like it's really not like I've been so transparent. Like my children know their story, know where they came from. You know what I mean? Like I can only start with me. Um, I always wanted to be transparent because this could be a cruel world and they don't know yet. You know what I mean? And some people find out through experience and some people, you know, find out through seeking it through the spirit. Um but yeah, so I saw a couple of videos, but I chose two guys that I want you to listen to that I think that um, really maybe hit my perspective of things. So I'm going to play the first video, okay? And Lala, let me know if you don't hear it. Okay, guys, here we go.
Now, this video is not for the people who have loving mothers. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm speaking specifically to the people who have narcissistic, toxic mothers that they had to either limit contact or go no contact with. Now, if this is you, when you get to that point where you can look your mother in the eye and say that you will no longer disrespect me, that becomes the last time that anybody can disrespect you. I don't hear enough people talk about this, but there is a very, very big shift that happens in your life when you get the balls to stand up to your mother. All your relationships begin to change because you realize that people only benefited from you when you had no boundaries, when you were a people pleaser. That's when they were the most comfortable around you. When you were still shrinking yourself, when you were scared to speak up, when you were scared of losing people. But when you get to that point of decentering your mother and her opinions and
Oh, you can't hear it, Lala?
No, I can hear it. I said I can hear it. I can see and hear your video.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, y'all look.
It's all right.
Here we go.
seeking validation from her, everything changes. It's up for anybody after that. People can't get away with the little slick comments anymore. People can no longer get away with the little shady things that they used to do. And then everybody starts falling off because you begin to realize that almost all of the relationships in your life mimicked the relationship between you and your mother. When you stop chasing your mother's love, you stop chasing emotionally unavailable people. It happens across the board. And it really hits different when you realize you're not starving for love anymore. You're not looking for people to fill a void that your mother created. You filled it. And now your energy says, I'm good either way. That's why a person who is actively healing their mother wound is very powerful because you cannot manipulate them. You cannot guilt trip them. And you damn sure can't disrespect them and think you're still going to have access to them. You know what it feels like to lose the one relationship that the world told us that we needed and survive it. That type of person is unshakable.
That's right. What you feel about that, Lala?
Whoa, she said a lot. She said a lot, sugar. And
Yes.
it's kind of, and that when she said like losing the person that the world told you that you should be, in contact with, that's really sad.
Yeah.
Is really
Yeah.
sad, and it's not a trend, sorry, but there is more stories of girls, I would say younger women,
Younger women.
younger women talking about their traumatic experiences with their mothers. Like there, you see so many videos of mothers kicking at their daughters or treating their daughters really badly, but
Mm-hmm.
protecting their sons and keeping their sons. You know what I mean? So it's understandable why a lot of people are choosing to cut ties with their family and go no contact,
Absolutely.
because
Absolutely.
it's only damaging you. You know what I mean? I understand
Exactly.
it. Yeah, I understand it.
Yes, because your mental health is important. You can only bear what you could bear. You know what I'm saying? No one can measure that for you but God. You can bear what you can bear. So so she really sums up like, like my experience like dealing with that anger. So I wrote a poem to express the way I felt when I was going through that time of battling and confronting, my anger with regarding the experiences, you know, my traumatic experiences that I was going through during that time. So it's called The
Okay,
War.
Sugar, before you start, check your back chat.
Okay. Oh Lord, I don't. Okay, so 1 second, Lala. Oh, private chat. I didn't know. Okay, all right. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, you guys bear with me, but I'm just gonna see Lala helping me out here. So I want to just give thanks and grace for all you guys coming to give me, you know, coming over to my place to give me a shot at kind of listening to my perspective about things. So I want to give a shout out to Sharon Godboat. Hey sis. I said toot toot beep beep. And we got Shani Love in the building. Okay. And then I'm gonna get back and learn how to pull these comments up too, y'all. So 1 second.
You just have to scroll up, but I think Innocent Instigator's here.
Hey,
Shout out to you.
woo, woo, woo.
Betty
Hey,
Boop is here. Shout out to you.
CC, hey, CC. Oh, I didn't see none of these. I
Yeah, you just have to scroll
apologize.
up.
Hey, Betty Boop, boop. All right. I got some checking that and some okay, all right, great. Okay, guys. So I just want to be able to share a poem with you guys that I wrote, you know, during this time. And it was dealing with my anger. So it's called The War Within. A spark, a tremor, a heat so slight ignites the quiet of my inner night. A whisper turns into a seething roar as anger creeps through a half-closed door. It wears no armor, yet strikes so deep, awakening wounds I thought were asleep. It feeds on pain. It thrives on doubt. A tempest within, trying to get out. My heart becomes a battlefield wide, where reason and rage collide inside. Words sharpen like daggers, poison to fly. But in their flight, love could surely die. I braced against his furious tide, clenching my soul as I wrestled inside. Whispers of patience, echoes of grace, try to soften the lines on my face. Yet anger is cunning. It knows where to go, digging up hurt from so long ago. It tempts me to strike, to shatter, to burn, but I know too well where that path will turn. So I breathe, I listen, I let silence fall, giving space for wisdom to answer the call. For anger is fleeting, though fierce and strong, and giving it rein would lead me wrong. The war is not won by the loudest cry, but by the quiet resolve that won't let it lie. And though anger may rise, I choose to be still, for peace is a choice, an act of the will. So I hope y'all like that.
Nah, Sugar. That was absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You know, I always say you have a beautiful mind.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm from the country of poets. So poems really called to me.
Oh,
So that was so beautiful.
thank you.
I love it. And
I be so
listen, people,
bashful, y'all, though.
Sugar hates compliments. That's why when I compliment her, she hates compliments, so she can't take it, but it's the truth. It's the truth.
Thank you, guys. So I'm going to go over to, I got another video I want to show you guys. And so this video is going into, it's okay to set boundaries, but I don't think a lot of people are taught boundaries. You know, I think that my anger, it developed. So once I kind of was battling with the anger, I formed this sister called ego. Okay? Like, you couldn't disrespect. But at the core of everything, I didn't let my experience change who I am. Like, even if it was a hurtful situation, I'm always still love. I'm always gonna still love people, even if I don't deal with you anymore. No, because I get to control that. I get to control the type of energy that I want around me. That's just the way I feel. If it's just vibing real low, I mean, misery love company. Like, I can't do that, especially now. I'm not in that space whatsoever. I'm not in that space at all. And when you start to transform, when you start to really start discovering who you are and seeking, what do you like? What world do you see for yourself? And when you become on the path of self-discovery, you're going to realize through that transition, people are going to fall off. And at first, you're going to feel probably guilty about it or think maybe it's you. But sometimes it's necessary for you to be able to remove the old version of you, with all those emotions and everything attached to you. So, like I said, to anybody going through it, you can get through it. You just really have to, you really have to get your state of mind in a different perspective. It was not your fault. It's never a child's fault. That's why I said life is not fair. But don't take it on your shoulders. It was not your fault. It was done to you. You didn't do anything to cause it. So,
I
yeah.
agree. And Sugar, we're not taught boundaries. Boundaries and protecting yourself and putting a wall around yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was taught to us later on. We were never taught how to set boundaries. I think that's why a lot of us have traumatic friendships and childhood memories. You know what I mean? That stems from the lack of boundaries that we never set. I
agree. I totally agree. So that's when I think that once those feelings those emotions are not worked through or not managed, we develop these negative feelings, right? About ourselves, about our environment, about society. We start developing that, and so this woman, she's discussing, boundaries and how that might be the best thing for your particular situation, maybe to go no contact. But let me really express on that. Even if you go no contact, but this is me, right? I don't have a relationship with my father, but just recently, last year, he had a stroke. And so he's never been married, but they called me. So the stroke caused him to have, aphasia when he's not able to speak. So I stepped in and I set my boundaries. Like, since I'm his next of kin, which I'm his daughter, I will be willing to, give consent for any, medical procedure or anything that, he wants to have. But just even getting back there, so I'm trying to get things situated because I was trying to get him in an assisted living home and all that. And then his brother, which was my uncle, totally disrespect me, totally went there, act like I was trying to steal Social Security. Like, it was just a whole mess, and I didn't feel protected. So I removed myself once again from the situation, blocked the phone numbers. And like I said, if the hospital or the nursing facility call me if they need consent, that's all I'm able to do. And that's okay. Because my life was peaceful. He had the stroke and came in and tried to stir it up, and I ain't having it. So let me let you guys listen to this lady. I think that this was a good perspective.
But that doesn't mean that family is healthy or good for us. We know the saying, honor thy mother and thy father, but for some, that honor is found in distance. Sometimes it's more honorable to walk away. This is an honor that those who are not mature won't understand, because this honor says, by staying in connection with family that's harmful and unhealthy for me, even if it's silently, I harbor and direct nothing but anger, fury, resentment, frustration, maybe even hatred towards them. And those type of feelings directed at anyone are not honorable at all. But at a distance, those highly charged feelings have a chance to quiet, and I can deal with them and heal them without additional injury from a family that's harmful to begin with. The goal is getting to the place where one day, even if it's still at a distance, I hold and direct feelings of understanding and well wishes to the very parents or family that did me harm. For some, that's among the most honorable thing you can do, in the best way the circumstances allow. Boundary up.
Okay, Lala, how you feel about that?
Oh my God, that she spoke nothing but facts.
Hey,
Nothing
Alpha,
but facts.
nothing but
Hey,
facts.
Alf. Yeah, I thought it was, she beautifully said it. Sometimes taking a step back, because I don't believe in going no contact with families,
Mhm,
each to their own, because I just feel like anything can happen in life, right?
mhm.
And it just depends on you. Would you be able to be okay if something happened to them and you wasn't there? That's how I think about the no contact. But everybody is each to their own. For
Right.
me, I just wouldn't be able to sleep at night knowing I'm no contact with my family and something happens. That guilt would just ride me. But what she's saying so true, taking a step back,
Mhm,
working through your feelings and what you've
mhm,
been through and what they put you through, forgiving them and forgiving yourself as that child that had to go through that, gives you a better understanding to accept them for who they are. You
Exactly.
understand? So I think she's laid it out perfectly. I agree with her, because taking a step back and evaluating your life and what you've been through and what they put you through, I think it is the best thing for you to do mentally, to get
Mhm,
yourself together in order to accept who they are now. Because I feel like a lot of people don't accept people who they are. Like,
that's
doesn't
right.
mean you put up with bad behavior, but this is who they are, and how you deal with it, maybe walking away, or maybe blocking them for 2 weeks, or you
Right.
just come up with ways to work around them instead of going no contact. And I think she's doing the right thing. What she said was perfectly said, in my opinion.
Yes, I thought that was a good perspective, a good point of view to come at it. And I agree, and I respect your point of view as well, Lala. But so that's why I say it's really an individual, it's not really a one size fit all. Because people can come with the subtleties all the way to the severities of trauma. So you know what I mean? So if it's an unhealthy situation and you've gonna try with no resolve, but I'm kind of leaning, like that's what I'm saying, I'm kind of really like neutral, because I really feel like, but if they do need, you shouldn't be like just totally out of the picture. So if they may need you, but see my experience, you see I have no contact with my father, like none, and I'm okay with that, because I feel like I really never knew him.
And that's okay, because he was never in your life.
Right.
You
So
understand?
yeah, so like my mom, I don't know, because I never, went no contact. I just moved, like moved from her.
Smart plan.
Like if she came over to my crib, she want to talk that stuff, I can say, "Hey, get out of my house." So that's how that went. I just moved, but that's what I was saying. Like before you able to do that or remove yourself from the situation, there is tools out here that we can arm ourselves with. You know what I'm saying? Mentally, there are methods, of coping, what they call them, coping mechanisms that we can incorporate into our daily lives as we go through what we're going through, if we're not able to escape it. But the main thing is always express it. Don't let anybody make you feel like you cannot express something that is harm that has been done to you. You have a right to, what do they say in court? Let me get it right. You have a right to approach your accuser, or you have a right to, or your aggressor. or whatever. Y'all gonna help me out. So, you have a right to, what I'm saying, address someone that have harmed you. That's what I'm saying. You have a right to say how you feel because it was done unto you. And that's just, it's just how I feel about it. So I hope that could help, because if you don't work on your emotions, you will build up this type of avatar, within yourself. Like I said, like this ego, and my ego was to protect me, and so I didn't like it because I didn't like. So say if, like, my mom was very verbal abusive to me. So say if she was verbal abusive to me and I had to build up this ego to be able to combat her, right? It was this, I'm just going to call it ego, because it was like when she stepped front, like nobody went messing with her, and so I was being told a lot, or trying to be persuaded by my family as they dismissed my feelings and how this kind of affected me. And, I just became like, I didn't give, I went to like a phase of like, I didn't give a F. You know what I mean? And that's not a place to be. Quickly learned that because I quickly got out of that. But you know what I'm saying? So I jumped into that phase, and it was the ego, because I just kept feeling like, why is these, negative things happening to me? Why are these negative experiences being brought my way? And so, so that's when you really learn that, so like these things are affecting me. You know what I mean? Like, I need to deal with this. Like,
Yes, I understand. I
Yeah.
understand, especially when you have to build, become your own superhero, your own savior.
Yeah, because
And
at
you
that
were,
point,
mhm.
I agreed. At that point, nobody could protect me but myself.
Yeah, and it's sad for you, but I always believe that everything. I believe that life is a test. What you went through made you who you are today, and it shaped the woman that you are, the mother that you are. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And if you really think about it, like, that superhero saved you, and you
Mhm.
really did save yourself, Sugar. That is amazing to say that to yourself. Even though you went through traumatic experience with your mother and your stepfather,
Mhm.
that superhero really saved you, and that superhero is you. Like, just say that back to yourself and
That
see how
superhero
wild
saved me,
and
and that
beautiful that
superhero is
sounds.
me. Yes,
Yeah, look
I
how
received
beautiful
it.
that sounds. You saved yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't get to save themselves because they don't build that character. They don't build that superhero. They don't realize that I'm going to be better than what I was born into. It takes a lot, and you did that at a young age.
Yes, and so that tore down. That so I tore as I tore down the ego. What was birth was sugar. It was so sweet. What came
I
out of
like that.
that's what was birth. And so when I was removing the ego, y'all know me, I wrote it in a poetry. So let me tell you what, in my way of expressing it through poetry, what I wrote once I dissolved the ego and the sweetness of sugar was born. So it's called Unshackling the Self. I wore my pride like a shield of stone, a fortress built where I stood alone. Every glance, every word, a test, proving I was better than the rest. The echo of praise, a siren song, kept me believing I could do no wrong. Yet in the quiet, the cracks would appear, whispers of doubt I refused to hear. My ego, a shadow that followed me close, feeding on moments I valued the most. It shaped my steps, it colored my sight, blinding me softly in the glare of its lights. But pride is a prison, its bars unseen, a warden disguise, both cruel and keen. It shackles the heart, it clouds the mind, leaving truth and humility far behind. I face my reflection, bare and true, and saw a soul that barely knew that strength isn't forged through endless might, but in bending, in yielding, in seeking the light. So I let go with trembling grace, unmasking the fear I had longed embraced. I humbled my heart, I knelt, I prayed, and felt the weight of falsehood fade. Now freedom whispers where pride once spoke, a gentler voice that softly invokes that to rise I must bow, to lead I must serve, for the path to true greatness bends and curves. And though the ego may call me once more, I know what waits behind that door. For peace is found where the self lets go, in the quiet where deeper waters flow. I hope y'all like that. So,
I love that. You got me out here feeling emotional.
you feel good?
It feels so good. I think you're gonna have to send that to me. I need to frame that one.
I got you. I
Even
got
though I don't have no ego. Before
you.
people start thinking something, I ain't got no ego.
Sometimes
But
we
I
think we
really,
don't
really
have no
like that. I really, really, really like that. I need that. I need that. And also, by the way, Cece said you need to do a book of poems. Like you need to publish your poems. Like you need to have that. I keep telling you, Sugar, like
ego.
your poems are just beautifully written. And the fact that you just, can come up with that is just amazing. So you really need to put that into a book.
All right, I'm gonna speak that into existence. That is part of the plan.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to. So I do listen to you guys. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate that you are even receptive, because it take a lot of nerves to it take a lot of nerve in any type of artistry when you put it out for people to enjoy. You know what I'm saying? But also they could criticize as well. So it takes a lot of courage to be able to do that. So I appreciate all you guys. I'm sorry. I appreciate all you guys. I really do. And I
And we
really
appreciate you and your talents.
thank you. So, okay. Yeah. So this live wasn't gonna be that long. I just wanted to come on and introduce myself and to just talk about something that's deep, that's kind of being felt in the energy of our Mother Earth. So I just wanted to share with people that you're not alone. If you experience that, or if you were told or taught that your feelings doesn't matter, it is a complete lie. Your feelings is your measurement of discerning. How did I know that I was angry or I was abandoned? Because my feelings told me so. My feelings told me so. You can't feel my feelings. And that's what we really need to understand, at the core of the things. We can't feel what somebody else is feeling. Not right now at this day and age, So we just need to be empathetic and compassionate and kind to people, because we really will never really truly know what somebody is going through or where somebody has even came from. If you see somebody in crisis, it's a reason, and crisis is them trying to get in control of what overwhelming emotional force that they're going through. And it might not just be one. It might be a mirage of emotions that unearthed within them, and it could be very overwhelming and traumatic, because I just had something like that just happen to me. And I thank God I was able to recognize it. I was able to sit with him for 4 hours to get some type of understanding, and I'm more calm, and I feel solace, and I'm here today with a clear head. Amen. And I just think that I just thank God for my mind. I just thank God for my spirit and my health, that no matter what, you know, we still can love, because of love. I really feel like love is life. That's where we came from. Everything that have life in it has love in it. So yeah, even the plants and the dogs and the trees and the bees. But yeah, so other than
No, but I agree. There was one thing that you said that you said earlier, like, you know, talk. I think I lost my train of thought. I think you're talking about ego, you know, your ego and that.
Mhm.
I lost my train of thought. Sugar, I was listening to you now. It's gone. It's gone. Forget me.
It's okay. So I'm gonna try this out, Lala. If anybody want to come up here with me, I realize. What do I do, Lala? I hit the invite.
Yeah, hit the invite, copy it, and put it in your chat. So you have to bring out your chat.
Yeah, you guys made me feel comfortable. I really, really, really appreciate you. I know people say that. I really appreciate it. And another thing, the videos, the TikTok videos that I showed are complete ownership of the content creator who created them. If you guys want, you can look at a replay and, you know, stop it, and because I left their handle name. So go and check them guys out, because both of them ladies, I really enjoy their perspective.
Yeah, they had really amazing perspective. Oh, I wanted to speak to you about your mom. You said your mother was had aggressive and stuff like that. You know, aggressiveness towards you and stuff. I think a lot of parents have that, especially because your mother was a teen parent. You know,
Yeah.
I bless her, she didn't get to work on herself because, you know, she had a child and stuff.
Mhm.
Everybody's thing is different, but I will say for a lot of people that what, you know, that kind of what you go through at home with that kind of behavior, it sets you up for when you go to school. Like, no one can bully you, you know what I mean? No one can
Mhm.
come at you sideways or nothing like that.
I agree.
So, you know, it's a bad thing. It is, like, you know, no child deserves to be treated that way or spoken to that way. But it also, again, builds the character that you didn't think you had in yourself. Because when you go, you know what you're not going to tolerate. But you
Mhm.
tolerate that because that's your mom. You know what I mean? That's your home. You know, you have no choice at that age.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. And I just want us, you know, us aunties to let them know it is ways to navigate it though. It's constructive ways to navigate it, because I'm Aquarius. Hey, I ran out the house seeking. I was trying to find information. You know what I'm saying? Like, help me. Like, I can't, you know, so that's just my nature. Like, it doesn't matter if my parent didn't provide it, doesn't mean that I can't get it from somewhere else. That was my analogy growing up. That's why I'm self-taught in a lot of things. You know, when I had children, I'm like, oh, you know, it took me so long to get my degree because I had a kid, then had to stop. They had another kid and had to stop, you know. So I said, okay, well, if I can't finish the degree, you know, to go to school to learn it, I was like, I can work jobs and they'll teach me it. I worked in all the different industries. I know a lot. I have a lot of knowledge, you know what I'm saying, within me. And I think that's what people really like always underestimate in me, is that I am knowledgeable. People don't spill all their knowledge, but yeah, I'm, you know, I'm well read. Diverse in a lot of, you know, different, just a bird's eye view of a lot of things going on. Like, I be everywhere. You know, I be
She sure
everywhere.
is. Sugar's everywhere. And she'll come up, like, will tell you something like, how do you know that? And she's like, girl, I've been reading. So she
Yeah,
is very knowledgeable. She tells me a lot of things that I didn't even know.
exactly. So I just want to so I'm gonna end it this live, but I'm gonna end it with one last poem. Okay, guys. And this is Brick by Brick. I feel like even though through the trauma, through the hurt, through the pain, you still can build yourself, but starting from within, and you can build yourself up brick by brick, and it will be a better self. You know, it would just be a better self. And like, I got 50 shades of sugar, you know, and you know, and I just want to share what you got. So it's just a lot of things that I do that's unique. My commentary might not be, you know, the traditional commentary. I like to go deep on things. You know, I'm more in the Philly arena, like to get deep. I want to know what your soul feel, You know what I'm saying? So on my channel, I care about how people feel, especially the people that I love. So here goes my final poem that I'm gonna close it out with, Brick by Brick. I was born with a whisper, not a roar, a quiet voice I barely heard before. Doubt held my hand, so steady, so near, filling my mind with the weight of fear. I walked on tiptoes, afraid to be seen, hiding my light where no one had been. But dreams don't sleep, they stir and they call. Even when silence builds up its walls. So I gathered the fragments of who I could be, piercing together the strength within me. Brick by brick, I laid down my fears, martyred with courage, watered by tears. Each step I took, shaky but true, taught me that faith grows in what I pursue. I stumbled, I faltered, but still I would rise, chasing the fire that burned in my eyes. Confidence isn't a thunderous sound. It's the whisper that grows when no one's around. It's built in the moments I dare to believe that I'm more than the doubts I let myself grieve. So I speak a little louder. I stand a bit tall, no longer afraid of the rise or the fall. For confidence isn't the absence of fear, but knowing my strength is already here. Brick by brick, I build and I climb, knowing that growth takes patience and time. And though the world may still question my stride, I walk with the power that's always inside. Thank you, guys.
Woo woo! Clap, clap. Clap for Sugar. Put some claps in the chat because that was, again, beautiful. That's another one. I'm just going to make a list of all the poems that I want you to send to me, and I'm going to frame them. Thank you so much, Sugar. This was such a good live, and I think it was a great topic that needed, because a lot of parents do go through a lot, and I feel like they're not heard in this kind of climate that we're in at the moment. So for you to come up and share your story and what you went through, thank you so much. It was so beautiful, and is a testimony to the woman that you are today.
Thank you so much.
So
I appreciate
well
it.
done to you.
We
Give
did
yourself
it.
a pat on the
We
back.
did it. Right. Thank you. This is the first live. Woo, 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 woo.
Woo woo, your first live. You did it. I told you. It's just, you have to just get behind the wheel. Did I not tell you that? You just get
Yes,
behind the wheel.
Alf MC. I told him earlier in the chat that you told me sometimes you just got to rip the Band-Aid off. And I'm like, what?
You just have to. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. But thank you to everybody that came for Sugar's first live.
Yes, thank you. Guys, you all have a beautiful day. You know, every morning, no matter what happens, just choose peace. And I promise you, your day is going to flow. Peace come with flow. So peace and love, everybody. I really appreciate you guys. And like the video and share the video if you know anybody that kind of, vibe with my perspective on things. And thank you for accepting my talents. So going forward, I'm going to really be doing videos more on scripted TV. Right now, I am binging The Wheel of Time. So me and Lala, we can come together and we're going to give y'all some commentary on that. And I'm going to give you commentary on Beauty and Black. I love it. I told y'all back in the day, because the people that's in here, y'all kind of, running in the circles, either y'all from the courthouse, or the palace, or catching up with Lala. So so that's why I be hanging out, you know what I'm saying? I love you guys. Have a beautiful night, and thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.